Hi everybody, we're back in the kitchen. See, I told you it wouldn't be so long this time. Last time we got together, we did a pasta toss salad with some fresh veggies, and I'm going to kind of do a little riff on that today, but it's going to be a hot meal. So, I'm going to make some turkey meatballs, and I've got a little bit of bacon grease in the skillet. Now, turkey is bland, has very little texture, but we are going to jazz it up. There we go. Making meatballs, you have to plan to get your hands dirty. So I'm going to add an egg, which is a binder. I'm going to add some breadcrumbs for texture, a little bit at a time, because if you add them all at once, you can't take them back out. Now this is a fun little trick, and I'm not sure, but using ricotta in meatballs, I think is something that my husband's grandmother told me about. Dear lady, she wasn't a great cook, but she did have some good tips. Stuff like this. So I had some ricotta, some pepper, some more Tuscan seasoning, a little bit of salt. Now we want to work that up into a consistency of the meatball so it'll roll so I can throw it on the skillet. Like I said, turkey on its own doesn't have a lot going on, doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it's a great vehicle. It really takes to seasoning really well. There we go. And basically the breadcrumbs are kind of offsetting my wet ingredients, which the turkey itself is very moist. And then I've added the ricotta and the egg. So I want to get all that in. It's still a little thin, but you see I'm only adding the breadcrumbs a little bit at a time because you don't want to end up with breadcrumb balls. You still want them to be meatballs. That smells good. I'm smelling all my stuff. There we go. We're almost to a consistency. Now I'm going to flatten it out this way. Fresh shaved parm. It's zesty. I mean, this is not the stuff you get in a tube. This is just, it's got that wonderful, almost nutty bite, and it's sharp. And I'm going to put that right into the meatballs. And Parmesan doesn't, that tastes good. Doesn't melt the way your cheddars and such. It will melt some, but it still really pretty much holds its texture and its flavor. Just a tiny bit more. Now, keeping my dirty hand here, I'm going to start up my skillet. And I think we'll do some linguine. We'll do a lemon butter sauce. And it will all be good. So I think, I don't know if I mentioned beforehand or, well, give me a break, I lose track of time. But we had our shearing a couple weeks ago with the alpacas next door. And my very fine guys from OCTV came out and shot some footage of the actual shearing and some of the animals after they'd been sheared, and they were so happy. And I even got to go out in the pasture and, you know, do my spiel a little bit, kind of a promo thing. So keep an eye out for that because I have no idea how they're going to use the footage. But I'll be very interested to see it. Now I want these to cook quickly, so I'm not making them softball size. And just throwing them in, I've got a little, like I said, a little bit of bacon grease. You can use olive oil, but up here I don't waste anything, and a little bit of bacon grease goes a long way. It adds just that little bit more flavor. So see, simple. And these are going to be tasty, tasty, tasty. We're going to serve them, as I said, with some linguine, and then we'll do a quick lemon butter white wine sauce. And I think we'll throw in some fresh tomatoes, maybe some radish, some pea pods, some parsley. Kind of have it be almost a warm salad on the side. So that's what dinner is tonight. And really, with very few exceptions, I mean, occasionally I do a little something between segments, but most of what I'm doing here, you can do at home in 30 minutes with just a little bit of thought, and then you're turning out some pretty spectacular meals, really. So there we go. I've got some meatballs going. I can touch them now because they're not completely hot yet, but I won't do that when they heat up a little bit more. So see, I got a nice texture here. It holds together. So that means it'll hold together in the pan. But try to keep your meatballs consistent in size so they'll cook consistently also. There we go. Give it a little bit more heat. Get cleaned up before I touch anything else. I am going to make up the rest of that meat. I just want to move on to something else right now. And get all the meat out from under my fingernails. It's got to be clean. I got to have clean hands when I'm cooking. So I can put all this away, and I'm going to get out my ingredients to start to build our lemon, butter, garlic, white wine sauce. So I'll set this aside, and after I've shown you how to do it, I'm going to cook up the rest of these, because I think that's dinner tonight. So these do not take long to cook, and if you have any kind of delay, you can throw them in a pan and set them in the oven to keep them warm. Sometimes you can just roll them. Sometimes they give you a hard time, and you have to flip them. Oh, it's starting to smell good. I can smell the herbs. I can smell the ricotta and that Parmesan. There we go. They are starting to brown up beautifully for us there. So I'm going to have those keep going, but I'm going to listen to them. That way you can turn your back on the stove and still hear what's going on. So I'm going to start to clear the decks here a bit. And when we come back, we'll start putting the rest of our ingredients together. So I can put my ricotta away for now. And the lemon butter garlic sauce is something that I quite often make up here at the lodge. It's become a real favorite. It's very simple, very fresh. I love it. And bottom line is, I usually cook the things I love to cook. And for the most part, I think people have been very receptive to that. And you'll know that when you make your way up here for a wine dinner, which are coming up in June, July, and August. And I'll get the dates. I'll remember the dates at some point. So come on back in a little bit and we'll get going on a sauce. Ooh, the meatballs are browning up beautifully. And they smell so good. I'm going to kind of cluster them in the center of the pan there and turn the heat down some so they keep cooking, but they don't overcook. Now, probably in our last show, I showed you how to make herbed butter. And I'm going to start my butter sauce using the herbed butter. So right off the bat, we've not only got butter, please, but we also have herbs, so we got flavor right away. So as soon as that lets go of that, I'm going to juice some lemons. Now you can use lemon juice out of the bottle, but there's nothing like a fresh lemon. And here's my handy dandy zester. As I've said before, a zester will change your life. I'm going to get some fresh lemon peel in there. You know what I forgot to get out of the fridge? All right, I'll just keep talking while I grab it, because I can't make a garlic sauce without the garlic. And I'm back. See how quickly that is? And now, there we go. Gotta have some garlic. Now that I've zested my lemon, oh, there's nothing like a hit of fresh garlic right out of the jar. Yum, yum, yum. Get some more lemon juice in here. I always want to be checking my meatballs. Oh, they're gorgeous. They are gorgeous. I've already got my water on because we're going to do some pasta, linguine. Kind of forgot where I was going there for a minute. Now you can squeeze lemon juice directly into your pan, but then you're left with pulling out seeds. So it's always easier to have a juicer unless you're really good and you can juice it upside down. But I generally end up juicing myself when I do that. So there we go with that. There's our fresh lemon juice and a couple of seeds that got in there anyway. You don't want seeds in a sauce. That's a big no-no. All right, got our lemon juice. We need some garlic. I'm just making a small amount of sauce, so I don't want to do my usual big, huge glop of garlic here. And go into our leftover wine bin. And I've got a Pinot Grigio. And we're going to put this on the fire. And basically, as the butter belts down, or as the butter melts down, we'll just toss it, stir it together, and the wine will come through, but it will reduce, so it's not that heavy alcohol flavor. Not that there's anything wrong with heavy alcohol, but okay, I got just some little things I want to get out on the side and have kind of crunchy, but then we'll pour the sauce over the meatballs, the linguine, and some of our greens, and it'll become kind of a warm salad. Time to check the meatballs. Oh, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Look at those, pretty, pretty. Okay. Now, I'm not a terribly big radish fan, but I have found that if I do something like what I'm doing with it today, it really changes the flavor. And it's not, you don't get that heavy burn, and you get more of the nice, light peppery, almost a floral note. Not to mention, it adds a nice bit of color to the plate. Come on. There we go. I don't get my chopping rhythm right. Okay. Those off to the side. I think we'll leave the pea pods whole. Previously, I think I used them in a salad, and I cut them down so they're more bite-sized. We'll leave them whole for now. And I'm going to continue, just because the white is gone, doesn't mean the green onions aren't still good. It's a completely different flavor. And if you get the bunches that go from light green to really dark green, then the dark green is yet another completely different flavor. So, we got that. That's all going to, like I said, it's going to be kind of a warm salad idea. Look, it's pretty already. I'm going to plate that up, put some sauce on it, get some golden tomatoes going. I browned some bacon, so we'll use that. And see how these babies, look at that. Look at how beautiful. All right, we can turn those off. My sauce is beginning to boil here, which is a good thing. So now as the butter's melting, I'm just going to move it around. And I can smell the lemon. I smell a little bit of the white wine. You notice I have all these bottles back here. When we have a wine dinner or different events, if there's a little bit left, I don't throw it out. I put them here and cook with them. And which is what often makes it impossible for me to duplicate recipes, because I don't necessarily have the same leftover things laying around. But see, now that's all melted down. I'm just going to let it sit here at kind of a gentle boil and let it reduce and cook off that alcohol. Then we'll get our pasta in, and pretty soon it'll be time for dinner. So, this is a little bit. I can't let that go to waste. That's about enough for the middle of the day. So, come back and we will get the rest of our meal put together. Cheers. Okay. I'm getting ready to toss my linguine in. This is an interesting thing that you can now buy, what they call pot-ready pasta. Now, my husband says you can't do this. You've got to have the full size. But especially when you're in a hurry, it's nice to be able to throw in your pasta already cut to size and all over the floor. That happens. See, that's why I was trying to be careful here. Okay, there we go. This way I don't really have to do much to make sure it goes in nice. There we go. And don't worry about what went on the floor because my crew will get that later. Ha ha ha. All right, so I've got my pasta in with a little bit of salt. There we go, a little bit more. And as soon as I put the pasta in, basically I have a cold item going into boiling water, so it's going to sit for a moment. You really want to zhuzh it around so it doesn't get stuck. You do not want a lump of pasta. Our meatballs are done and they're just sitting over here staying warm. And our sauce is starting to happen. Now that it's been sitting for a little bit and reducing some, I can smell already that it's a little too buttery. So it's going to need a little bit more of the Pinot. I think that's what I'm using today. Any white wine will do. Pinot's kind of dry, so it's nice for that. And I tend to not taste hot sauces when they're at this stage because it's kind of dangerous. I mean, it's real easy to burn your mouth and then you can't taste anything. So at this point, I'm going by how it smells. If I smell too much of any one thing, then I'm out of balance. So there we go. See, now that took that butter down some. There we go. Our pasta's starting to go. So we've got a murder coming up in July. It's July the 18th, I believe. I don't have the dates right to hand, but we have, I mean, it's real easy to give me a call. And that's going to be a full dinner, full run of the house, and you, the guests, are the actors. We set up the story, and it's up to you to decide who did what, and when, and how, and everything else. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So call me about that. We are already taking reservations, and it's going fast. And you don't want to miss out, so give me a call. That's $65 per person, and that's, I haven't decided exactly what I'm cooking yet, so I don't know how many courses there are. But there will be appetizers and dessert also, and hopefully a lot of mayhem. That's what I'm planning on, at least. And then we have our wine dinners, as always, which are becoming so much fun. We have people coming back. The last one I said, because I knew one of our guests didn't drink wine, so I said as I was serving the first course, if anyone does not drink wine tonight, just turn your glass over. Dean says, why would anybody come to a wine dinner if they don't drink wine? And this lady pipes up and she said, we're coming for the food. So that was a nice thing to hear. Okay, my sauce is reducing nicely. My meatballs are nice and hot. I'm going to chop up some of my parsley here. And then I'll put it all together on a plate. And again, you see this is a quick, easy, nutritious dinner that will have a whole lot of flavor. So let's get some of our greens. Oh, isn't that pretty? And you know how I love my golden tomatoes. They're so sweet. But instead of a traditional dressing, we're going to do our hot lemon butter sauce right over the whole plate, so that'll take in and dress up all these things too. And I've got some bacon, and a lot of times too, and I'm not doing it today because I happen to be out, but this is the kind of thing that when you're all done plating, just before you put it on the table, sprinkle it with capers. Capers are delicious and add just the right bit of flavor and nice little contrast because they're so savory and rich. And now if you want to thicken a sauce like this, it's real easy to do. You can just dust your flour into it, keep it moving so you don't have lumps. I like it for something like this. I want it to really sink in. I don't want it to just coat the meatballs. I want it to really sink in. So I'm going to leave it a little lighter. So as soon as my pasta's ready, I can see another advantage to the pot ready pasta is it cooks more quickly. And again, you don't have that problem where it's all sticking to the pan and into big clumps, because we don't always have time to sit and watch our pasta. I got a loaf of Asiago cheese bread. This is not going to need any butter on it because it's going to pick up the sauce. My husband always loves to have a piece of crusty bread with when I make a sauce, and when he's all done, he uses the bread to sop it up off the plate. So there we go. Oh, that's nice. So you guys really have to come up here and experience these things with me. But while I start to put this together, I'll remind you once again that my telephone number is 248-933-4579. Treetop Lodge and Connie's Kitchen are on Facebook at Treetop Lodge Oxford. Very soon, maybe even by the time you see this, our website will be up and running. And you could always email me at email at stormy3958@att.net. See, I'm not technological, so I tend to forget those things. Alrighty, I think we're ready to toss our pasta. Now, unlike when we're making pasta salad, we don't want to cool this one off. We're going to serve, put it right back in the hot pan. That keeps it hot while we're getting ready to serve. This is going to be wonderful. There we go. And I'm going to put some of our fresh parsley. This way, when the sauce hits these cold elements, it's just going to draw those right up. Crumbled bacon. A little bit, put a little bit of that in there. A little bit for me. Bacon in the middle of the day, that is so decadent. Take some of our luscious, lovely meatballs. Look at that. And now for some sauce, and it is lovely. Look at that beautiful sauce. And as I said, you can thicken it if you like, but I'm going to put it right on here. I'm concentrating on the turkey balls. And then a little drizzle on everything else. Is that beautiful plate, and a little bit of our fresh grated parm. It is so good. And this is what's for dinner. It's simple, it's quick, and it's delicious. And I'm probably going to have dinner before I leave the lodge, so this is mine. So join me again very soon, because I'm coming up with all sorts of things. And come on up here to the lodge. I'd like to have people come up and sit in the kitchen with me when I'm cooking and doing the show. That would be fun too. And then you get to eat everything I make. So come and visit me. We're busy, crazy, but I always have time for more people. This is what I love to do, and it's making me very happy. So join me again on Connie's Kitchen, and right here on OCTV, and I'll see you real soon.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.
At Oakland County Parks and Recreation, we value what you value: family relationships, community connections, good health, environmental stewardship, and economic stability. Oakland County residents and businesses have invested in preserving nearly 7,000 acres of parkland. Since 1966, 13 parks and golf courses have been acquired, maintained, and improved. Oakland County parks and facilities are made possible by millage funds supported by Oakland County residents. For a home valued at $200,000, the homeowner pays less than $25 per year to support the Oakland County parks. With every generation, families create lifelong memories at Oakland County's award-winning parks. From exciting summer escapades and stories around the campfire to brisk fall walks on wooded trails and snowy winter outings, the outdoors beckons year-round. It's time to get up, get out, and get going at the Oakland County parks. Active recreation options abound. Cross-country ski or mountain bike on tree-lined trails. Scale the rock climbing wall. Get your kicks with soccer at several sports fields. Row or paddle a boat on 4 picturesque inland lakes. It's an easy journey. Most parks are just a short drive away. A quick tip: all our parks and golf courses end in Oaks. To find your favorite, just go to destinationoakland.com. Click to pick Oceans of Motion water parks at Red Oaks and Waterford Oaks, the Wint Nature Center at Independence Oaks, Teen Adventures, and even entertainment to go. When outdoor adventures on your list, there's fishing, beaches, boating, playgrounds, and seasonal hunting. The campgrounds at Addison Oaks and Groveland Oaks feel like being up north with plenty of recreation options. Want to get fit? Hit the trails. Oakland County Parks boasts more than 68 miles for strolling, walking, hiking and running, biking, or horseback riding. If the links are your lure, 5 golf courses, including premier course Lion Oaks, are conveniently located. Make Glen Oaks or White Lake Oaks your home course. Get an up-north feel at Springfield Oaks, or play a quick 9 at Red Oaks. Our recreation lineup rocks. Learn to swim. Experience an outdoor adventures camp. Take the fast track at BMX, or gain new lifelong skills. Everyone's included. Individuals with disabilities participate in dozens of adaptive opportunities, including a new fully accessible playscape, modified golf carts, and annual events. There's always something special going on at Oakland County Parks, whether it's a classic car show, the Oakland County Fair, a senior golf tournament, or the Ellis Barn Festival. Being green is an everyday practice with nature interpretive programs, wildlife habitat protection, reduction of invasive species, and stormwater management.